Okay, let's get started. So you should be open to this page. Give me a thumbs up if you are on page 639. We are going to go over your homework. We are going to go over your homework. Who can raise their hand and tell me what is the answer to number 1? What is the answer to number 1? We're talking about, remember we talked about how many sides and how many vertices a triangle has. We're talking about sides and vertices. And vertices, we said, is just a fancy name for corners. So how many sides and vertices does that square have? Mabuba? 4. Yeah, it has 4 sides and it has 4 corners. So you should have 4 and 4 for that first one. What about number 2? Number 2, what is the answer to number 2? How many sides and vertices does that rectangle have? Thoraya. 4. Yep, 4. It has 4 sides and 4 vertices. Very good. So if you look at the next two, if you look at number 3 and number 4, you should have 4 for both of those two because they're both examples of a square or a rectangle. Remember we talked about how squares and rectangles are the same because they both have, or are similar because they both have 4 sides and they both have 4 vertices. The only reason that they are different is because all 4 sides of a square have the same, all 4 sides of a square are the same length, whereas a rectangle has 2 long sides and 2 short sides. So go ahead and flip the page. You should be on page 640, the back of your homework sheet. Should be on the back of your homework sheet. Who can tell me the answer to number 5? We see a little drawing of a robot there. You had to count how many squares you see. You had to count how many squares you see. How many squares do we see in that robot? How many squares did you guys count on that robot? Page 640, Mohammed. Akil, how many squares did you count on that robot?
I said 5.
5. Yeah, I saw 5 too. His head is a square. His head, that yellow shape, is a square. And then his hands and feet are squares. His hands and feet are squares. So you should have written 5 next to the number 5. What about rectangles? What about rectangles? How many rectangles did we see on that robot? Raise your hand. How many rectangles did we see? Sraboni.
5.
You only saw 5 rectangles? Or 5 squares? I saw a few more rectangles than that. Wasi, how many did you see?
I see 7.
You see 7. Okay. What else? Did anybody see any more than 7? Ronan, how many did you see?
6.
You saw 6? Okay. Does anybody see any more? Or a different number? Anybody see a different number? Akil? 7. Yes, Mohammed?
I was going to say 7.
You were going to say 7? Okay. Next time, please raise your hand. Thoraya, how many did you see?
8.
You saw 8? I saw 8. So let's take a look at this. If you look, his arms, both of his arms, and both of his legs are rectangles. So there's 4. And then this purple belt is a rectangle. So there's 5. His whole green body is a rectangle, so that's 6. And then inside of his body, he has 2 more. The part above his body would be 7, or above his belt, and the part below his belt would be 8. So there is actually 8 rectangles. If you got it wrong, that's okay. That one was kind of tricky, but there is 8 rectangles. What's up, Mariah? Do you have a question?
Yep.
What's
what
up?
Page is?
We are on page 640. We're going over our math homework. 640, page 640. So for number 5, you should have seen 5 squares. And number 6, we had 8 rectangles. Let's take a look at number 7. Number 7, I'll read that out loud. It says, I am a 2-dimensional shape that has 4 sides that are all the same length. What shape am I? So what shape is that? What shape would that be? What shape has 4 sides that are all the same length? What shape would that be describing? 4 sides that are all the same length. Lima, what shape would that be?
Square.
A square, yep, a square. Remember, a square has 4 sides, and they're all the same length. So go ahead and write square on that line. Yes, Mariah.
Okay.
Page 640. You should be in your math book. You should be in this book. Good. Okay, so let's go ahead and flip our page 1. So you're on page 642. Page 642. Mariah, we're on page 642 now.
Sabrowski,
Yes.
can I go do something?
Yes, but quickly because we're about to learn, okay? So come back quick. Okay. So page 642. Today we're going to learn about 2 new shapes. Tuesday we started learning about squares and rectangles and how many sides and vertices they have. Today we're going to learn about triangles and trapezoids. So I'm reading in this blue box up on top on page 642. I'm reading out loud. Where you see that highlighted word, it says triangles, that's the highlighted word, and trapezoids, that's your second highlighted word, are 2-dimensional shapes. They are closed. Remember we talked about a closed shape means that there's no way for anything to get in. Remember we saw on, when we saw like a rectangle, it looked like the rectangle was, we like saw one shape that looked like this, where one side was open. Oh, you guys can't see that. Where one side of it was open and they showed the pig walking in. That won't happen. If it's a closed shape, there's no way for anybody to get inside. So it says they are closed. They have straight sides and vertices. So let's take a look at that triangle. Take a look at that shape that's orange. It has orange lines. Look at the triangle. How many sides does that triangle have? How many sides does that triangle have? Who can raise their hand and tell me? Who can raise their hand? Mariah, how many sides does that triangle have?
3.
3. It has 3 sides. Mariah, do you know how many vertices it has? Or corners? Do you know, Mariah? How many quarters does it have? Who can help him out? How many vertices does it have? How many vertices does it have? Ronan. 3. Yeah, it has 3 sides and it has 3 vertices. If you look at that triangle, if you look at this triangle, it has 1, 2, 3 sides and 1, 2, 3 vertices. 3 and 3. Good. What about that next shape? That next shape is a trapezoid. That next shape is a trapezoid, and trapezoids are drawn like this. It's a short line on the top, a longer line on the bottom, and then diagonal lines connecting the 2. That's a trapezoid. That is how you draw a trapezoid. How many sides does that trapezoid have? How many sides does that trapezoid have? Mohammed, how many sides does it have?
4.
It has 4 sides. And how many vertices does it have? How many vertices does it have? Maram, how many vertices does it have? Do you know? Maram,
It's 3.
it doesn't have 3. It has more than 3 corners. That's very, very close.
I know.
That's very, very close. Amika, unmute yourself. How many vertices does it have?
4.
4. Yep, it has 4 sides and 4 vertices, just like a square or a rectangle would have. So you can see them up here. You saw that I drew 4 lines. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 corners where all of the lines touch. Good. So let's look at number 1 there. Underneath that blue box, let's look at number 1. How many sides and vertices did we say a triangle has? A triangle. How many sides and vertices does a triangle have? Akil.
I'm not gonna say the answer, but I just realized that a trapezoid needs three triangles to make it.
Yeah, a trapezoid would need 3 triangles to make it. You're very right about that. But how many, let's talk about the triangle now. How many sides and vertices does a triangle have? Who knows? Look at number 1. Look at your green triangle on number 1. How many sides does it have and how many corners or vertices does it have? Mohammed?
3 sides, 3 corners.
Yep. So 3 and 3.
Oh no, they have to do it.
3 and 3. So you should, for number 1, you're going to write 3 twice. It has 3 sides and it has 3 corners. Three sides and 3 corners. Good. What about that trapezoid? We just talked about it. We just talked about the trapezoid. How many sides and vertices does a trapezoid have? How many sides and vertices does a trapezoid have? Sraboni. 4. Yep. A trapezoid has 4 sides and 4 vertices. So that's what you should have written for number 2. So then these 2 pictures underneath, we have a xylophone and we have a yield sign, like a street sign. Both of those are real-life examples of those shapes. So that xylophone, that's an instrument. That xylophone is a trapezoid. That xylophone is a trapezoid. I'm going to outline the shape of that xylophone for us so that you guys can see. See how that xylophone makes kind of a trapezoid shape? And then if you look at the yield sign, it makes a triangle shape. So just like we just talked about, a trapezoid has how many sides? Who can raise their hand and tell me?
4.
Mohammed, nobody called on you. You have to raise your hand and wait to be called on. How many sides does a trapezoid have? Steven.
4.
4. Yep, a trapezoid has 4 sides and it has 4 vertices. Just like we just talked about. So that picture of that xylophone, you can write 4 and 4. And then same thing with that triangle, that yield sign. How many sides does it have? It's a triangle. How many sides does a triangle have? How many sides does a triangle have? Mariah? 3, yep. So a triangle has 3 sides and 3 vertices. So that's what you should have for your answers. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I want you guys to go ahead and do the next page, page 643 on your own. Do page 643 on your own. For the first 2, you're writing sides and vertices. For number 7 and 8, you are circling the trapezoid and the triangle. And then number 9, you're circling closed shapes. So go ahead and take about 2 minutes to do that. Take about 2 minutes to do that. I'm going to take a time.
Mr. Busky, how do I do page 7?
Number 7 is, it says that it's a shape that has 4 sides and 4 vertices. So find which one of those shapes has 4 sides and 4 vertices. And then number 8, you're finding a shape with 3 sides and 3 vertices. So you'll circle the correct shapes for that. Zia, do you have a question? Okay, Mohammed, you don't need to tell me. Zia, do you have a question?
Yeah.
What's up?
I finished my work.
Okay, that's not a question. Yes, Mahbooba.
Hi, Hamid.
Mahbooba, do you have a question? No? Okay, let's go over 4, 8, 12. Okay, let's go over it. For number 5, what'd you guys get for number 5? You got a picture of a trapezoid there. How many sides and vertices does it have? What's the answer to number 5? Number 5. Mariah.
4.
Yep, 4 and 4 for both of them. So number 5, you should have 4 sides and 4 vertices. What about number 6? Number 6, we have a picture of a triangle there. We have a picture of a triangle there. How many sides and vertices does a triangle have? How many sides and vertices does that triangle have? Mahbooba. 3, yep. So for number 6, you should have 3 and 3. Who has a question? What's up, Christian? Yes, Christian. We are on page 643 in our math book. Okay, let's talk about number 7. So 5, you should have 4 and 4. 6, you should have 3 and 3. Let's look at number 7. It wanted us to circle the object that matched the description. So I'm looking for, what, Christian? Page 643. You're in the wrong book. You need your math book. Christian, you need your math book. There you go. Okay, number 7. You were supposed to circle a shape that had 4 sides and 4 vertices. Which shape or which picture shows that? Is it the dime, the button, or the xylophone? Which one should we circle? Which one had 4 sides and 4 vertices? Steven?
The xylophone.
The xylophone, yep, that rainbow xylophone. So you should have circled that xylophone picture. You should have circled that xylophone picture. Good. Let's take a look at number 8. Number 8, you have a shape that has 3 sides and 3 vertices. Which picture shows a shape with 3 sides and 3 vertices? The cracker, which is that first one, the waffle, or the sailboat? Which one has 3 sides and 3 vertices? Amid? The cracker. And if you want to circle that last picture too, if you circled that last picture too, I'm okay with that, because that sailboat has 3 sides and 3 vertices. So if you circled that last picture, I'm good with that. Okay. What about number 9? What about number 9? Let's talk about that. We had to circle all of the closed shapes. We had to circle all of the closed shapes. So for number 9, is that first picture a closed shape? Give me a thumbs up for yes and a thumbs down for no. Is that a closed shape? Are all of the sides connected? Nope, so we should not circle that one. We can put an X on it if we want. So we know that that one is not what we want. Good. What about the second one? Give me a thumbs up if that's a closed shape. Give me a thumbs down if it's not. That second one, is it a closed shape? Yes or no? Is it a closed shape? Yes or no? Yep, it is. So we can circle. It's a triangle. It is a triangle with a closed, none of it is open. So we can circle that triangle. All of the sides of that triangle are connected. All of the sides of that triangle are connected. What about the next shape, that green shape? Give me a thumbs up if it's closed. Give me a thumbs down if it's not. That green shape. Good. It is not closed. The bottom is open. There's a bottom that is missing, so we can put an X over that green shape. We can put an X on that green shape. What about the red one? We got a red trapezoid. Give me a thumbs up if that red trapezoid is closed. Give me a thumbs down if it is not. What do we think? Good, yep, that trapezoid is closed, so we can circle that one. And then our last one is not. So you should have circled 2 and X'd 3. Circle 2 and X'd 3. Good, let's flip our page to the back. We're almost done. Flip our page to the back. Take a look at the back. All right, I'm going to read our story problems out loud. So number 10 at the top of page 644. Number 10 says, I am a two-dimensional shape that has 3 sides and 3 vertices. What shape do we know that has 3 sides? What shape did we learn about that has 3 sides? What shape did we learn about? Christian, what shape did we learn about that has 3 sides? Christian. Do you know? Mohammed, somebody else is answering right now. No, we are not done. Amid, can you help him out? A triangle. It's called a triangle, Christian. A triangle has 1, 2, 3 sides. So on that line, we are going to write triangle. On that line, you can write triangle, just like that. Give me a thumbs up when you are done. Give me a thumbs up when you copy that down. Triangle. You should be on page 644. Page 644. Good, Amir.
I didn't write yet.
Well, honey, then write, please. Please stop unmuting yourself, Mohammed. You should be copying down that word triangle. Ronan's done. Steven's done. Sraboni's done. Mohammed's done. Maram is ready. Amid is ready. Rashid looks ready. Good, let's read the next one. If you didn't finish, I'll show it again in a second. Number 11 says, I am a two-dimensional shape that has 4 sides and 4 vertices. Well, we learned about lots of shapes that had 4 sides and 4 vertices, didn't we? The square had 4 sides and 4 vertices. The rectangle and the trapezoid all did. So let's keep reading to see what other clues it gives us. It says only 2 of my sides are the same length. Well, when we learned about this trapezoid, we see that this side and this side, are the same length, and these two are not. So the top line is short, the bottom line is long, but each side is the same length. So we know that this one must be talking about a trapezoid. A trapezoid. Because lots of shapes have 4 sides and 4 vertices. Go ahead and copy that down. But a trapezoid is the only shape where only 2 of its sides are the same length, and it fits that description. So go ahead and copy that down. Give me a thumbs up when you have that copied. Good, Jaleel. It's kind of a long word. Good, Lima. Good, Stephen. Good, Maram. Good, Sraboni. Good, Ziad. Looks like just about everybody is done. Good, Mabuba. Yes, Ziad, what's your question? Not yet. Not time to log off yet. Take about 10 more seconds. Finish up. Maram, do you have a question?
Yes. Miss Cookie, why she's not take more learn her?
Miss Cookie didn't have a Zoom class today?
Yes, have that.
I think hers is at 3 o'clock today.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I think it's at 3 o'clock today, so about an hour and a half. Okay, so your homework is the next page, page 645, and the back, page 646. So this is the page you need to do for homework. It is due on Tuesday when we have our next math class.